Hey, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Kakadash, Yahweh, who the world really calls God, Yahweh Shah, who the world really calls Jesus. When they give it up honor to the apostles, a great millstone, who has taught me this truth. When they give it peace and blessings to the Akim across the four corners of the earth who teach this truth. And we're like to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Lord, the video is edifying. Lord, I can get something from this video. Basically, this is going to be just a description, a biblical description of, what a Jew would look like. You got a lot of confusion out there in the world as far as what's being pushed and what's being advertised among the small hat community that they are pushing out towards the world as far as what's what and they're the true biblical people. And if you really go into it, that's not the case. You really go into it, you really read the scriptures, you clearly understand that that's not the case at all. And down to the very description of a biblical Jew, you guys don't even fit that. Okay, and Jew is just short for Judah, okay, which is the head tribe, which is, of the southern kingdom. And then you got Ephraim, which is represents the northern kingdom. Okay. But even then, you guys don't fit any of the description. I'm not saying that it's because where's the rest of the tribes at? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it's all about color, because it's not all about color. Okay. You got Jakes that look like every nation. I mean, some of them small hats, might actually be Jake. Okay. And probably don't know it, so it's not a thing based off color. But if you get down to the basics of, what an Israelite would look like, the description of the man that you guys call Jesus, which his name is Yahweh Shai, it's in the Revelation, and I'm going to get it. Okay. And I'm also get what the Father looks like as well. Just get back down to the basics as far as, not only do we fit the prophecy, but none of you guys don't fit the prophecy. You guys don't even fit the descriptions. You know what I'm saying? None of you do, But this is a revelation. There's no way around it. And you guys want to go in the Talmud. The Talmud, if, brothers was talking about it, and that's a book with a bunch of loopholes in it. That's a book that, nobody, relates to but you guys, because it was created by you guys. You know what I mean? So of course, it's like it's so many loopholes in it. There's so much bullshit in the book, in that book, that it's damn near comical. You know what I mean? Of the things that you guys say you believe in. Okay. This Revelations 1:12, it says, "And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed the garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle." Right, and it's talking about Yahweh Shai. It says his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So his head and his hairs, right, his head and his beard was white like wool, white being the color, wool being the texture. Okay, now again, it's just the basics. So if you go down to who has woolly hair, the real Jews have woolly hair, afros, things of that nature. Okay? And if that's not enough for you, I'll keep reading. Scripture said, what is evident that he sprung out of the tribe of Judah. Okay? As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Right? And his feet like unto fine. And he was actually prophesied about in the Old Testament, by the way. Okay, it says, "In his feet like unto fine brass." Now, if you look at the color of brass, it's brown. You could Google it. Okay, and if that's not enough, it says, if they burnt in a furnace. Well, if you burn anything, what color is it going to turn? Okay, it's going to turn dark. Okay, it said, "In his voice as the sound of many waters." Right, he had a deep voice. Okay, so that's the basic description of what the Lord looked like. As a matter of fact, let's go into Leviticus. I think it's Leviticus. It says, thin hair, yellow. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I think this is Leviticus 13:30 says, "Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be a sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head and beard, and yellow thin hair is a blonde hair." Okay, well, that was counted as what? Leprosy. You counted cursed. Okay, when Moses put his hand in his bosom, right, and he took it out. When he put his hand in his bosom, he took it out. It was a different color. When he put his hand back in his bosom and took it out, I believe it was Moses, and it was back to his other flesh. Well, you got to think, what was his other flesh? Okay, let me go to this. Revelation 4:3, it says, well, I start at 1. It says, "After this I looked, and behold, a door was open in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and that's Yahweh who sat on the throne. It says, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. Okay. Now we go to Google. We can just Google, right, jasper and sardine stone. I'm gonna try to do a video on the siege of 70 AD as well. Because if you so-called, if you not so-called, if you small hats can agree with the siege of 70 AD, then why can't you agree with the rest of the curses, with the rest of the curses? Okay? If you guys agree with the siege and you believe that the siege really happened, that it talks about that in the law. I mean, not in the law, in the curses. It talks about certain events. You know what I'm saying? So if you believe that, why you don't believe the rest of the curses? Okay? Now, obviously, a jasper and a sardine stone, right? It has a scripture down here. A jasper and a sardine stone is two brown stones. Okay? Jasper and a sardine stone, two brown stones. Okay? Now let's go back to the scripture. It says, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne in a sight like unto an emerald. Okay, so there's no way around it. I mean, there's no way that you could disprove that, that we're not the people. Just show us where we're not, because we're showing you every video that you're not. Okay, and at the same time, if you go and get into the Zondervan's Bible dictionary, for those who like to say we're him, go to the Bible dictionary and go to him. It's going to say him, the progenitor, roughly paraphrasing the description, right? The definition, it says him, the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Okay, so the Negroes aren't part of Japheth. So they only could come out of where? Shem. So how can he be anti-Sem or anti-Shem, because the man's name was Shem? How can he be anti-Shemitic and be a Shemite? Yeah, you can't. Okay, so that whole anti-this and anti-this, it's out the window. Okay, it's out the window. So yeah, man, just simple things, man, that we can go, and there's way more scriptures I could get into, but those are some of the two basic ones that I could go to where you could look it up and ain't no dispute and ain't no none of that. Okay, because what Yahushua said, if you seen me, you seen the Father, right? You don't think he, look like his father? You don't think that him and his father got the same skin color? Come on, man. And this is written again. It's not about skin color. I'm not, because you got so-called black heathens, right? That look black but go back to, a heathen nation. You know what I mean? And then you got so-called white boys or so-called Asians or so-called whatever Indians, right? Dot not feather, right? You got so-called Hawaiians. You got so-called all kind of people, right? that actually go back to being an Israelite. Okay, you got Sicilians, you got all kind of things, man. So this thing is of the spirit, man. You got this things is of having faith. Okay, this thing is so it's not about skin color, but if you just break it down to that, right? You guys don't fit the biblical. You don't fit the curses. You don't fit the biblical description of a Jake. Period. Okay, so with that, man, Lord willing, the video is edifying. Lowly, I can. Got some friends. This video. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakadash. I want to tell you, but let's keep pushing on to the next. Shalom.